Right everyone, let's get straight into this. This is the Haibike Hybe, so H-Y-B-E, I assume that's how you pronounce it. It's their top of the range enduro or mountain bike. We've got 170 mils of travel on the front, 160 mils of travel on the rear. Let's get straight into the price. 10,000 euro, this version. Carbon frame. Don't think it's got carbon wheels. No, it's got the hybrid HX1501 wheels from DT Swiss. Top of the range, they're top of the range bike. Maven brakes, nice to see those on there. We've got the Maven Ultimates. I would hope so at this price. We've got an electronic seat post, rock shocks, wireless, fantastic. SRAM shifting GX. We've got obviously here the electronic shifting with the battery, so I can take the battery and you can't shift anymore. But anyway, yeah, T-type drivetrain, HS2 discs, complete carbon frame, so rear triangle, also main frame, Bosch 800 watt hour battery. It can also take the Bosch power range extender, which is great. So you can have 1,000 and something watts of storage. I've got it on the scale. I'm just about to do that as well. It's got 29er on the front, 27.5 on the rear. There's not a lot really that's missing off this bike. Apart from the display, this version hasn't got the 400C. It's just got the cutout and then the normal system remote in the cutout space. So you can upgrade it, which will cost you an extra 250 euro if you get this version. But you could probably, at this price range, bargain in the shop and ask them to fit it for you, and then you'll buy it cash probably. Great thing about Bosch is no wires in the rear end for the speed sensors. You've got to magnet it here and the motor can read that from there. Interesting to see that on this bike they haven't got a cutout in the bottom of the downtube, but the battery is removable. You can remove it out the bottom there, and the motor has been shifted and twisted in this direction here. So it's kind of a distinctive look to it, but it keeps the weight nice and low, giving you a nice stable ride. We're going to go ride this in a few days. Right now it's just here on sort of show. Comes in 4 sizes. Let's talk about the geometry. The head tube angle 64.5, so that's pretty much the conservative end of the market now, 64.5 head angle. And we've got, and that's in the L size. This bike here in front of me is the L size. And we've also got a chainstay length of 450, so nice and stable out the back. Seat tube angle 73.8, so fairly vertical, good for pedaling. I like the fact on this that you've got the adjustable, I mean this RockShox wireless reverb seat post, it's my favorite seat post out there. Plenty of adjustment for me because I do have a very particular saddle style. This also comes with a carbon bar, which is fantastic, so it reduces those vibrations that you might get. 481 for the large size on the reach, which is not super long, but long enough. 10,000 euro, remember. Let's weigh, how much bike do we get for our money? So if you're buying food, you want as much weight per kilo or pound as you can for the price, whereas with e-bikes, we want as little weight. So for this kind of bike, I'm expecting this to be around 20 something kilos, 20 plus, 22, 23. What are we up to? And we are at 23.85 kilos. Pretty good weight, actually, I have to say, for very chunky tires, full build. We've got the Zeb Ultimate on the fork. 23.8, that's a very good weight, I have to say. That's very light considering the build on it. This is a tough build. Full power motor, 100 Newton meters of torque, 750 watt peak at the wheel. Remember that. I think obviously Haibike were the first people to produce e-bikes. I remember riding one of theirs back in the day and I dropped it into a river and it still worked with the very first Bosch motor. That was quite interesting. Back at Eurobike, I think it was 2012 or 2013, something like that. A company with a lot of history. They used to be a big brand in America, very popular, Haibike. Haibike means shark bike, translated from German. Okay, looking at the build kit as a whole for the price, okay, we have got the top of a range components, apart from the rear derailleur, which is a GX. But and I prefer to see an XO on there, although you've got XO SRAM cranks. this is going to be a performer, especially with the Deluxe Ultimate Rock Shock with the P-back. Fantastic shock. I suppose this bike will do anything you really need. It's the latest tech from them. The frame size, and this is what I think is quite interesting, the down tube is quite slim. And I've got a teewing here, just out of interest, which has got, which you've seen before. And when we look at the, because people are often talking about Bosch batteries and down tube sizes, etc. So when I put these two next to each other and I look at them, I have to say that yes, the T-Wing is a smaller, a thinner down tube size compared to the Bosch. So the Bosch down tube is slightly chunkier than I would get out of a DJI motor, but weight-wise, this bike is a little bit more honest. It's definitely not lightweight full power, it's full power and a reasonable weight. I don't think you'd really want to save weight anymore else on this bike because you would end up with a bike that doesn't perform very well when at speed on, you know, gnarly off-road. So anyway, we will get this out on the trail soon and I'll give you feedback on how it rides. I'll do a sort of test ride video. If there's a big difference between this and the Pinion motor variants, because I suspect there is because of the unsprung mass on the rear, but I'm very interested to know how this performs because it's better to go for a more expensive drive unit with lower components or better to go for a top bling bike but not have the gearbox, but the sort of overall price is cheaper, let's say. So I'm interested to know and sort of do that comparison and give you a feedback on that. Right, one other thing I noticed about this bike as well, it does have internal cable routing through the headset, which generally I don't like, but it's only got one cable in this case, and that's the brake. So maybe, because everything else is wireless, I can forgive that. But I don't know why they couldn't have just fed it in here and they had to feed it in there, but I don't personally like it, but there we go, it's on there. The motor positioning is an interesting one. I mean, there's so many, I mean, Scots have also done this. I mean, it kind of looks better, but it kind of looks like it's been designed for weight distribution. And I think that on the trail, we'll find out how that goes. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video, which will be a test ride of this, I think. Or maybe something else, I don't know. I've got quite a few different things going on at the same time at the moment. Anyway, bye everybody.